WeatherScope.
It's now 1:30 on the Weather Channel here on this Sunday morning, Super Bowl Sunday, January 25th. I'm Rick Griffin along with Will Annan. Thanks for joining us. Weather improving in the south today. One example would be Pensacola, where it's been wet lately, but it should be 60 and sunny and a light breeze today, so it looks pretty nice.
Looks like a fabulous day for the southeast, and if you live in the state of Florida or down there visiting, enjoy today and also tomorrow because the rain will be back. Otherwise, this morning we're looking at a burst of snow in parts of the northeast. Let's show you what's going on with our satellite picture right now, and we'll put this one into motion for you as well. And you can see over the southeast this morning, yes, it is clear for the most part, and rather chilly too over much of the deep south this morning with high pressure overhead. But we are looking at another storm system, a weak one, which is beginning to rocket its way towards the northeast right now. And we're looking at some of that snowfall. Much of the region right around New York City right now looking at some light snow. Earlier on, about an hour ago, there was light rain mixing with some snow in most of the major airports around New York City. And also looking at some moderate snow at times right around Worcester, Massachusetts. Boston is over to snow right now, so is Providence. And it's going to be a quick shot of some light snow, real sloppy snow, which will be heading on eastward and northeastward for the rest of the morning. At least the ice storm is gone for the most part over most of Maine. We saw central Maine looking at some major power outages again yesterday because of some freezing rain coming down. Only right now around Holton is any freezing drizzle being reported there. Look at the temperatures this morning, 34 degrees, and we're talking about a gusty 34 degrees too around Boston, Mass. Up towards Worcester. New York City's at 36 degrees. We'll factor in some of those winds right now. And the wind chill does take a dive. It's down to 14 right now in Boston, 10 degrees in Philadelphia, and down to 17 in Elmira, 18 degrees in Washington, D.C. Well, we'll check on some of that precip right now. Again, along the Cape itself, eastern Mass, we're looking at some heavier rainfall. But as you get up towards Boston and Worcester, again, we're looking at primarily snow. Just about all snow as you work your way back towards the west and south now. Again, around New York City, looking at some skifting light snow coming on down. Same thing around Providence, but overall, this is going to be gone by midday for the most part over most of the northeast. If you live in the Midwest this morning, looking at some moderate snowfall at times around Rochester, Minnesota, getting real close to Minneapolis, St. Paul. This band of snow will travel across the Badger State today, where there's a little bit of snow coming down right now north of Green Bay. Dense fog is the picture from Green Bay through the Fox Valley this morning, down towards Appleton. And again, you'll be looking at the snowfall moving on in within the next several hours. Green Bay right now, 15 degrees. Chicago, 24 degrees. You could be looking at some very light snowfall as well. Des Moines, 25. And here comes the snow. You can see the darker shades of green right around Minneapolis to Rochester and just north of La Crosse in Alaska. That's where some of that snowfall is coming down at a pretty healthy rate as of the present time. In the southeast this morning, no problems whatsoever. It's clear. It's very chilly for the most part, down into the upper 20s, mid-20s in some of the suburbs of Atlanta right now. 41 degrees in Panama City. Should be a nice day across Florida. But the rains will be coming back by Tuesday, maybe by late Monday night. So enjoy today and tomorrow because it's going to be turning very wet again. If you live in the Pacific Northwest, you'll be looking at some wind and rain. Looks like a healthy storm coming in your direction as well. Could be looking at some battering waves too for the northwestern coast of California and southwestern Oregon later today and especially tonight. But in San Diego, California at the present time, 54 degrees. Super Bowl Sunday should have some super weather, that is for sure, with high pressure covering much of the southwest at the present time. No rain whatsoever to speak about there. You have to get your way into the Pacific Northwest. Some light showers coming back into Seattle right now, also around Portland. And the big storm arrives later on today. There it comes, the monster looking of a storm right now. And we'll be watching that coming on in with some high winds. Of course, the mountain snows, and watch out for the very heavy rainfall that could be locally excessive along the Pacific Northwest coastline by later this afternoon and by later on this evening as well. With that forecast, we're going to check it out right now with Rick Griffin.
Thanks, Will, but that storm certainly will miss Southern California, where Super Bowl 32 gets underway later on. The weather in San Diego, 70 degrees and sunny today with a wind of less than 10 miles an hour. The weather just about ideal for the game today. The weather will not be a factor. Little snow for the skiers in the high Rockies from Colorado to Montana. As Will mentioned, here comes the next front. Strong winds will come along with it and heavy precipitation by late today in northwest California, but in particular in Washington and Oregon. It's a fairly moisture-laden system, but a fast-moving front too. Speaking of fronts, there's one across the upper Mississippi Valley. With it today, some light snows near the Twin Cities, Cedar Rapids, over into Wisconsin, Eau Claire and La Crosse. You can expect some snow, and snow flurries will be developing around Chicago, while sprinkles of rain begin to develop in Texas, Oklahoma, and Arkansas. This developing precipitation, well, you've got high pressure to the east, a dip in the jet stream coming down, and the Gulf of Mexico opens, and the moisture flows north. That, of course, contributes to the developing area of rain, maybe near Longview and Fort Smith in Texas and Arkansas, respectively. Here's a look at daytime highs today. And as we look at this map, it's not as cold as it could be here in late January, with only 20s across the northeast Great Lakes and upper Mississippi Valley. Lots of 40s and 50s in the south. And for you in Pensacola, New Orleans, Jackson, Mississippi, Atlanta, Georgia, 40s, 50s to near 60 with the sunshine and light breezes. Once again, a burst of snow and rain for southern New England this morning, up to an inch or two of accumulation. Otherwise, variable clouds today. 37 in Boston, 38 in New York City, 32 in Syracuse, 30 in Burlington, but 47 in the sun in Atlanta, 60 in New Orleans, 72 in Miami, about 35 in Chicago, 28 in Minneapolis, 71 in San Diego, mid-50s in Seattle. Stick around. The latest on travel trouble spots. Next.
I shampoo every day, but my scalp still itches.
You need Scalpicin for deep scalp itch, the itch you can't wash away. A clear liquid, not a shampoo, with medication not found in leading shampoos.
The itch is gone.
Scalpicin.
Quick and nimble DeVille with the North Star system. DeVille for the